A document that SAA tried to keep from the public is now flying across the internet. The Johannesburg High Court has set aside a court interdict that barred Business Day and other publications from releasing the internal memo. It paints a bleak picture of the financial state of SAA and the implications if it goes ahead with a deal championed by the chair of the National Carriers Board. Lawyers representing the media houses argued last week that the memo was already in the public domain. SAA argued that the legal right of privilege was key in this case and public interest should not override it. Judge Roland Sutherland was concerned about why SAA's lawyers hadn't alerted the journalists about their intention to get a court order, saying the proper processes were not followed. Well, we're now joined on the line by Songezo Zibi, the editor of Business Day. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Songezo. Is this a triumph for media freedom, or was it just technical because the judge did raise those issues about SAA not approaching its urgent interdict correctly?
Good afternoon. I think the most important thing is that this is a triumph for public accountability, because South African Airways is a public asset. It is funded with taxpayers' money. And it is very important for the public to know exactly the state of the airline and the kind of decisions that are being taken at the airline, because it funds it. Media freedom is a secondary issue because the media is supposed to serve the public interest.
The fact is you had already published. Will this make a difference? It will be more widely accessible, I guess.
I think this makes it more widely accessible to the public, yes.
Tell me why you think this document is important, why you believe it's important for the public to know what's in it, and what are the salient facts for you, Songezo?
This document is important because South African Airways presented a strategy to the finance minister, and it was approved not only by the Treasury but also by Cabinet in June. And this was a deviation from the strategy that is already approved. The option that SAA wanted to take, according to the Treasury, was going to cost the airline more money. What is apparent in this memo is that the internal officials at SAA were reaching pretty much the same conclusions, in addition to raising very serious governance issues in terms of the Public Finance Management Act and the Companies Act of 2008.
Does it show, I mean, we know that there's been tensions between the executive and the board of SAA. Does this suggest that those governance issues may be behind that?
What it shows is that there is, at the very least, recklessness in the manner in which the SAA board is going about taking decisions pertaining to the strategic direction of the airline, which decisions could have very severe financial impact on the airline itself, but also on the fiscus, because the airline is technically insolvent. The document says the airline is technically insolvent, which means it needs several billions more from the taxpayer to keep it afloat. That's what makes this document particularly important.
The chair, finally, Songezo, has also been lobbying for this new renegotiation with Airbus. Instead of leasing planes from Airbus, looking at planes being sold to a local company, leasing in rands. Some believe that that was behind the removal of Nhlanhla Nene as finance minister. Does this document add to any of the speculation around the market turmoil and the changes in our finance ministry post that we've seen in recent days?
Not at all. This document makes no reference to the finance minister, because it preceded the issues anyway. What it states very clearly is that the options being taken by the SAA board are likely to cause the airline financial harm, which is the same thing that was said by the Treasury back in October. And this is why we believe the public needs to understand what's going on through the contents of the document.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Songezo Zibi, editor of the Business Day.